For headlines, government makes a pitch for Bajans savings. Policeman appears in court on firearms charge. And minister warns over fete violence. Welcome to Nation News for Tuesday, May the 26th, 2015. The government is after your savings, but don't worry, they are promising you a really nice interest rate. At a time when commercial bank rates are plummeting, the central bank is inviting Barbadians to invest in a new $10 million government savings bonds issue from the 1st of June. Speaking at the launching ceremony, Bank Governor Delal World said bonds are the best vehicle for rainy day savings and every Barbadian should have some. The bonds will yield 5.5% in tax-free interest after 5 years. If they are cashed in early, the return will of course be less. Individuals and benevolent organizations will be able to buy bonds worth up to $100,000, while joint purchases can go as high as $200,000. The previous limit for all investors was $50,000. A police constable held on firearm and ammunition charges last weekend has been remanded to Dodds. 29-year-old Andwin Jean-Baptiste was not required to plead when he appeared at District A before Magistrate Alliston Seal. The West Road Warren St. Michael resident is accused of possession of firearm and 9 rounds of ammunition without a valid license. He is due to return to court on June the 23rd. Negotiations between the Barbados Workers' Union and Light and Power over job cuts have broken down again. The chief labour officer, who mediated the latest round of talks over 2 days, have now turned them over to the Minister of Labour. Light and Power has begun a major cost-cutting programme which involves sending home scores of workers. The union is deeply unhappy with how the company is handling the process. Children's rights advocate Faith Marshall Harris has added her voice to the discussion surrounding flogging. She says that based on her experience as a former juvenile court magistrate, many of the children who came into conflict with the law were those who were beaten the most. Addressing the launch of a self-help book for parents, she said this was evidence that flogging does not change their behavior. Ms. Marshall Harris wants Barbados to get rid of corporal punishment and cites the book by local clinical psychologist Delia Gibson as presenting alternative solutions. The book's lengthy title is Help My Child Real Hard Ears, Managing Difficult Behaviors in Children. After the shooting incident at the Christchurch Carnival on Monday, the Culture Minister has appealed to event goers to keep violence out of Cropover. Stephen Lashley has warned that those who plan to disrupt events to steer clear of the festival or be prepared to feel the full extent of the law. 2 males, one 17 and the other 27, received gunshot wounds on Monday, while several people sustained other injuries after they were trampled in the flight to safety. Up next is Hayden Gill with the weekly commentary.
The Barbados Water Authority mains replacement project couldn't have come at a better time for thousands of householders in Barbados. An informal survey on the nation's Facebook page showed people in the central, northern and eastern parishes experience water woes on an almost daily basis. We've had only 11 millimeters of rainfall for the month of May and just over 250 millimeters for the year. Yet, we continue to waste this precious resource. Barbados has been designated a water-scarce nation, but when the rains come, too much of it just runs into the sea. It is time our drains channel rainwater into reservoirs across the island for recycling, as this problem will only get worse. In the meantime, we urge the Water Authority to dispatch water trucks to the affected areas.
In sport, a clash between champions Barbados Tridents and last year's finalists Guyana Amazon Warriors will kick off the Caribbean Premier League in Barbados next month. The contest is set to be played on the lights at Kensington Oval on June the 20th. Last year's rain-affected final at Warner Park in St. Kitts ended controversially, with the Tridents scoring an 8-run victory over that's under the Duckworth-Lewis method. And finally, a couple who have been married for almost 60 years have just welcomed their 100th grandchild, and we include the greats in that. Leo and Ruth Zenger of Illinois have been married for 59 years and have 12 children, 53 grandchildren, 46 great-grands, and 1 great-great-grand. They joke they could start their own hometown, and a family gathering can be quite an affair. They actually rent a church hall for their get-togethers, and either 50 pounds of ham or 10 whole turkeys. Baby Jackson was born on April the 8th, and the Zangers brag all of the grandchildren know them. And that's Nation News for Tuesday. For more news, log on to nationnews.com, as well as YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And remember to pick up your midweek Nation on Wednesday or subscribe to our e-paper.